Hey everyone, welcome back to Automation and also BeamNG.drive because this video is hopefully going to be predominantly BeamNG. What I want to do is do some quick modifications to the Magnum Opus. This is the version 3, although I think the wheels got a little bit messed up in the last update or two because I haven't put this car in the game for a while. But I want to make a Sahara version of it, so it's going to be the version 3.5. And yes, I am very roughly basing this on the latest Sahara version of the Porsche, the sort of rally off-road thing. It looks really cool, so I figured I'd just do a quick mod to this car and then attempt it for my own purposes, just for fun. Check out this build from the Discord if you're interested in seeing more of these. There are more on there, so go and find the link in the description. And I'm gonna say this now, I don't usually do, but if you're interested in this video and the others on my channel, please subscribe. I'd like to see you guys around more often. But let's go on to the car and the modifications that I'm gonna do to it. So in terms of the engine, I'm not actually going to change anything. I do have the option to unlock it. This is a clone of the previous car, but I don't want to do that. I really like the just naturally aspirated aspect of this. It is a 950 horsepower V12, which is just perfect for this car. So yeah, we'll just stick with this. Body is not going to change, but the paint will change for the first time ever. I think this car has been this shade of purple for a very long time, but I want to make it a little bit different just to suit the new challenge that it's putting itself up to. I think it needs to be a bit more of a rally inspired paint job instead of just very metallic purple. Okay, this car actually looks really stunning in red, surprisingly so. That's a very dark red. Ooh, that's a super bright red. That looks really good. I almost want to keep it within its roots, not go that far, but wow, that's bad. Hold on a minute. Oh yeah, no, I got it. It's the dusty blue. Nice easy preset, but this is a perfect color for this, and the wheels as well. I'm a big fan of that, my goodness. And then I was thinking, like, I know the top used to be black. Should we put it back to being black? I gotta figure that out now. Carbon fiber black on the top does look pretty darn good. So we're gonna go blue and carbon fiber. That is an excellent combo. Admittedly, I have been quite afraid to modify this car because I really like the way that it looks, but I'm always worried about messing it up. And that is kind of my big issue of like, oh no, if I do something to it, then this version's going to be screwed up and then I'm going to have to change it in version 4 or 5 or whatever version I'm on at that point. But in this case, this is just a half step. It is more of an experiment than anything, and so I'm going to try my best to make it a little bit more interesting. And I just noticed how janky that wiper is. I should probably fix that. It looks good, but it is just really, really bent. Way too bent. I'm actually just going to quickly skip over to the wheels because it's currently on semi-slicks, but I'm going to change it to be chunky off-road, which means that the wheel spin issues that I was having previously are going to be made worse. So don't worry too much about that. I'm actually going to shrink down the rim size to maybe 18s, and then I want the offset as big as it'll go, which apparently is not that big. That is unfortunate. Okay, that weird offset actually does mess with my plans a little bit because I was hoping to be able to make this a little bit wider. Let me kind of show you what else I was thinking. In terms of suspension and stuff, it's gonna actually just go down to standard suspension with a normal preset, I think, and then I'll have to adjust it from there. But the ride height is going to be significantly raised, which is going to make for some interesting issues, although it shouldn't be bottoming out. Surprisingly, it still is. Okay, apparently active comfort is actually better off-road, so I'm gonna go with that just for the sake of, I don't know, this car is very expensive, so may as well try it. This is going to mess with the aerodynamics a little bit, but I'm gonna take off the back wing, and I'm gonna take off that back wing too. The car is looking really bare without it, but I want to add something different, and yeah, different wheels, different fixtures, fender flares, and then we'll send this thing. Okay, so for wheels, I want to paint them matte white. I know that sounds a little bit odd. That's because they're supposed to be rally wheels, so I'm going to try my best here to make them look like rally wheels. And those are pretty darn close. These tires are probably too thick. I'll have to work on that in a bit. And obviously wheel spin is still an issue, but yeah, we can get away with something like this, I feel. Somehow I don't think that this giant splitter is actually going to work with this concept. So I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to take off this one as well. Although now it just looks totally empty under there. Hold on, I can't take those off without putting something else on. Okay, so I found these pieces here, and I don't know what they're actually supposed to be, but I'm going to use them as off-road under trays. We'll use the high one because I don't want to make it too crazy. So yeah, I'm going to try and make this, I'll put one on the back as well, but we need to have an off-road under tray or something to keep the aesthetic proper, just to make the car look like it's actually supposed to be out there, although obviously it's not. Okay, so I've modified the front end to have 2 under trays and to have an intercooler there. Obviously that wouldn't make any sense at all because it would just pick up rocks, but that's mostly just to fill the hole there and fill it with something that has a bit of texture. So that's kind of what the front end looks like, and then I want to do the same thing on the back, which means this exhaust is gonna have to go. We'll find a new place for it though. I just gotta fill up this back to make it look a little bit more realistic. I might be able to get away with a low one here, or perhaps, yeah, you know what, it's gonna end up being high again. That's fine. We'll just have to make it big and I guess right in the way. Okay, that's really cool. This is coming together nicely. I'm actually very happy with what's going on so far. Yeah, just gotta nail down some of the extra details, like adding fender flares. That's something I've been thinking about for a while in this car. Obviously it doesn't really need to happen, the car is naturally flared, but it just seems like it would be cool. Okay, I've solved the exhaust problem in a semi-realistic way by adding side pipes. So yeah, the car now has side pipes. Not something I ever thought would happen, but I think it's pretty darn cool. For the fenders, I was thinking about using these, however, I don't know if this is gonna work or not. Probably not. Oh geez, wow, they're huge. Yeah, I keep forgetting they're massive. Yeah, these things really do extend out a lot if you let them, so I'm just gonna really shrink them down and just try my best here. Trying to make something nice. Oh, that's interesting. That is definitely interesting. We might be able to get away with that if I can tilt these up just a little bit. Just kind of fill up that gap that you didn't know the car actually had until about 3 seconds ago when you finally figured out that these are terrible fender flares. Oh, that's actually not too bad. You know what? I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna go right like that, but carbon fiber might not be the answer. In blue, they don't actually look too bad. I might have to, I don't know, I wish the wheel would stick out more, that's the only thing. Yeah, it's too bad that the wheel won't come out more, but I think that's gonna do it. Like, that's gonna be it for the back. I'm just gonna duplicate these and see if I can get them on the front too. Okay, there's the front. I made it so that it actually covers the full lip on there. And I'm noticing on the back as well, there's a lot more lip for me to cover, so I'm just gonna mod this to fit that as well. Oh, they do look wonky, don't they? Interesting mods. I think I'm going to leave them blue so they don't stand out too much, but other than that, that's pretty darn sweet. I'm actually really liking the no spoiler look as well. That is not bad for this car, although nothing here, it just kind of looks weird. It's just bare and empty, so I think I'm going to try and add something there quickly. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that I put hood pins on the car. I just thought that was kind of funny, and I am still searching for the proper grille to put on there as well. There's got to be some kind of bumper bar or something I can put on there that would look nice. So many mods, so many options, including a snowman. An entire snowman just driving the car. Why don't I just put this snowman in the car? Come on now. He's got to be driving something. There he is. He's taking over the wheel. Oh, he's so small. Oh yeah, I like that a little bit too much. I think I'm actually going to leave that in there just for the pictures, and then I'll take him out for when we go to BeamNG, because I don't want him to defrost when we go to the desert. Now we could do like a full recovery kit as well, which would be cool. And I mean, there are options for that as well. We've got recovery gear in the game. I just have to figure out how I'm going to work that. Oh, now that is maybe a little bit too much, but it's also really cool. Is there... Oh, there is a smaller one. Oh yeah, okay, hold on a minute. I'm gonna put some weight on our carbon fiber roof here. That's very much a bad idea. Don't worry about it, it's fine. I'm just gonna put these into 3D, and then I can move them up and move them over. And would you look at that, we're surfing the USA, except it's a snow version. Okay, what else can I put up there? We've got spare wheels and stuff somewhere, don't we? don't we? Okay, my bumper bar so far is looking pretty crap. Not quite what I wanted. However, I think with a bit of modification I might be able to get it to go on there nicely. That's not too bad. It doesn't really blend in though. Let me see if I can find something else. Okay, so we have a proper bumper bar now. That's pretty much exactly what I wanted. I went into that bumper section, and would you know it, I found a bumper bar. Probably should have figured that out a while ago. And oh wow, there are some options in here, maybe ones that I would rather not use. We can make a full exoskeleton out of this stuff if I really wanted to. But I think just to complete the look just a little bit, just to add an extra touch that maybe it was missing before, it should probably have some kind of lights on it. And obviously they're not going to stay blue, because this blue is hideous, but I will attempt to put something on here. Okay, so the car officially has lights, it has fender flares, it has a snowman that is currently driving it, because obviously the snowman has to be included somehow. We've got a roof rack, we have side exit exhaust, we've got underplating, and I added these little tiny wings here. I don't know if I mentioned that yet, but just to give it a little bit of something on the back so it doesn't look too plain. But that is it. That's it. The styling is done. Okay, let's see if anything in the drivetrain changed, and then let's blitz on over to BeamNG, because I'm really excited to try this thing in the dunes. It's not going to be good, but that's fine. So it's all-wheel drive, which is fine. Dual clutch, 7-speed. I'm going to stick with that. Our biggest issue is wheel spin, and yeah, it's 88%. Most of the reason for that is because of the off-road tires. So yeah, gotta be careful. If you look at this thing here, it basically says that I can spin the wheels in any of the 7 gears, and it's an 89% chance that that's gonna happen, which is highly unfortunate. That's even with an electric LSD. And the power distribution is pretty close as well. Okay, so the wheels themselves are huge, as you would suspect. They're 18-inch rims, which is large for rally. Rally standard would be 15s, but I think that is a little bit too small, and 18s just kind of seem right for this car. Usually it has 20s, so that is a big difference. Sportiness is still really good, and we're still aligned in the graph at 295 and 340 on the rear. Oh boy, very expensive stuff, but I guess I could try and make it a little bit bigger. Or perhaps smaller, because that seems to be increasing our sportiness, which is pretty much the only value I care about at this point. Oh yeah, there we go. That's the perfect combo according to this. 99.7 with a 320, 295, and still 88% wheel spin. I think I'm just gonna have to ignore that at this point. You know what I'm totally missing is mud flaps. I just realized that. And I'm gonna make these wheels carbon again because I know it's expensive, but they weigh less, so that's what I want. Huzzah, we got mud flaps. Okay, I'm gonna put these on. I think they're pretty important, even if it's just for the joke of it, because, well, I don't see why we wouldn't want any. These are truck flaps, but these are definitely rally stuff here. We can't get rid of it saying automation on there, which is fine, but I can widen the heck out of them, and then go into 3D and move them on over, because these wheels be wide. And after the game crashed, the car now has mud flaps. I don't know why it crashed, but I guess it was having a hard time putting those on. They're looking really good though, although they are inverted. I really like the back look of this car. This is definitely a proper Sahara edition. Now we just have to get it tuned right and hopefully bring that value down ever so slightly. That would be great. So brakes are extremely strong, especially on the back. That is shockingly strong on the back. They do not need to be that strong, so I'm going to turn those down. Sportiness is at 50%. What happens if I... Oh wow, now it goes down, okay. So apparently going down is the right call. And down on the front apparently is the right call as well. Maybe 4 pistons? Maybe 3 on the back, we don't need the full thing. Well, that's going to be strong enough, no matter what. We should be fine on brakes. And again, they're very high quality, so yeah, we're good. I think it's actually gotten to the point where this car is lighter than it was before. I think it was 960 or something, now it's 905. We've gone way farther down. That's a lot of weight off, and I've added off-road tires. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, I cut off stuff like the downforce. I've gone down to an off-road skid tray, and as you can see, the wing angles and such are just absolutely screwed. with both having negative downforce, which in this case means uplift. So if I go like this, we get a bit of uplift on the rear and basically nothing on the front. So I'm just going to dedicate it to the rear entirely and hope for the best. We'll see if that actually works. This car is not turbocharged, so we should have no problems with cooling. Usually it's just turbo cars that have issues in this game. And the interior is still just one seat, absolutely basic stuff, which is fine because it is indeed a race car. I'm actually going to give it full-on ESC and traction control because that has become a lot better these days than it used to be back when I originally made this car. So that, again, it brings down the wheel spin significantly, and it's going to help us a lot with that. And then power steering, I'm going to give it, even though that it literally is just added weight, we'll just go for electric variable. Now this is going to increase the weight, but I think I'm going to go for standard safety. That will help us a little bit with our wheel spin. And yeah, maybe it'll be just a little bit better. We're climbing back up there in terms of mass. And suspension, I had it set to a normal preset. I'm actually just going to start off with a... what about a race preset? Now we're going to lose it. Sport, utility, this is just the benchmark. Yeah, I find that if you go for an off-road preset, it just gets way too soft, so I'm just going to go for a normal one and kind of adjust from there, looking directly at the sportiness factor and trying my best to get it high. That's literally all I do these days. Okay, so I made my own custom preset. The suspension is a lot more firm. It's not super firm, but it should be decent in terms of cornering, drivability, and such. Mostly sportiness at 100%, and here I wanted the roll angle to be ever so slightly less. So that is that. I think the car's done. Alright, we're actually back to 1-to-1, 950, 950. Let's send the Sahara to the Sahara and see how it drives in BeamNG. Hey everyone, welcome to the desert. So I'm going to go out and say that I don't think this car is actually going to be that good in the desert. The main reason is because I made the wheels just ridiculously massive. Most rally cars have thin tires, they don't have super wide wheels like this, but don't worry about that. That's just accuracy getting in the way of imagination because this car is beautiful. Take a look at some of the pictures I took at the beach. The snowman looks so good in there that I decided to leave him in there because he's quite cute. And yeah, the things on the top turned white, which is actually a nice look for this car. Also, I noticed that the automation things on the mud flaps turned white as well, which again looks really good. So it seems like the BeamNG changes actually changed it for the better. So I'm thinking we should probably take it for a spin. Keep in mind that this is an uncorked V12 and it is extremely loud, but it is also, goodness, I'm stuttering because I'm excited about this. It is also quite nice to look at and quite a cool car in general. So let's just go ahead and go into sport mode. I might actually turn that off, but wheel spin probably isn't going to be an issue anymore. I mean, we're just going to be wheel spinning all day. This is sand we're talking about here. Yeah, so the ESC is going to cut power constantly. That's just how it goes, but I'm also driving on sand dunes, so it makes sense. I think I'm going to immediately cut that off, actually. I don't think we really need it. And we also lost our front bumper quite quickly. It's down there in the sand somewhere, lost in the sands of time, one would say. So I don't actually think that I'm going to be able to get up to a decent speed here. Just make sure to check not the wheel speed, but the air speed down in the bottom right. That's the reason I have it there. Most of my cars tend to wheel spin like mad, so I want a more realistic idea of how fast we're actually going. And right now that seems to be about 100 kilometers an hour. Pretty fast in the desert, but no desert crawler, that's for sure. All-wheel drive is definitely a necessity here. And I'm liking the bouncy suspension as well. We have a lot more suspension travel than this car had from its original V3 version, and therefore it is a little bit better than it would be otherwise. However, I do find that front-wheel drive is incredibly good in the dirt here, and this car is biased rear-wheel drive, although it is all-wheel drive. Oh, one of our mud flaps is really tweaked there. It's actually kind of moving around. Oh no, never mind, it's just going under the ground there. Don't think about it too much. Oh, massive jump. Okay, hit on the back, and immediately we're down. Somebody call for a recovery, please. Now this map is quite expansive. I'm just going to leave it in drive and see if that's better, because we don't need the super high RPM. Yeah, this map is quite expansive and there is a lot of map to cover. I'm not going to try and go from one side to the other or anything like that, because I am planning on switching to Utah so we can get a better idea of how this car performs on maybe an asphalt surface or a more gravelly surface instead of just straight up sand. But for now, this is a I don't know, it's a Baja crawler. Crawler's not the right word for it. Baja pre-runner version, the true Sahara, except in a car, and also falling apart as we speak. Yeah, so much for wanting to spend more time in BeamNG, by the way, because I happened to spend almost an hour working on this car in automation. I intended for it to be like 20 minutes, but then I was just going and I couldn't stop, and now there's a snowman in the driver's seat. Okay, let's go to Utah. I think I'm done here. 2 deaths is enough for now. Although that's a pretty good screenshot waiting to happen. I'm definitely somebody who subscribes to the idea that if you have cars, you should probably drive them, even supercars and rare cars and things like that. Obviously, if it's ultra rare, then, I mean, it's probably a good idea to keep it in storage and never let it see the light of day so it doesn't get any dust on it or anything to keep it preserved. But if your car is 1 of 1,000 or more, then I don't know, you can probably safely drive it and not have to worry about its value going down too much. Ooh. Like, how often do you see high mileage Ferraris going for cheap? Like, they're always expensive. I think it's the same way with the Magnum Opus. Like, I've been kind of treating it as though it's a collector's car in my own mind, and not really doing too much with it because I'm afraid to break it. And doing this has made me realize that that was a mistake. And this car has 0 grip and is absolutely terrible on road. But at least I'm trying something with it. At least I'm doing something different. And I think that's important. I mean, I can make 30 editions of the Bugo. I've done so already. Maybe not 30, but quite a few. I can make more versions of this car too. And that's kind of what I'd like. I want to make more versions of the cars that I haven't made more versions of in the past. So yeah, that's where we are today. I still am serious, by the way, about doing some kind of games before finishing off the series in 2021. I'm hopeful that I'll be able to do some kind of Olympics-based thing, although obviously Olympics is trademarked as consider found out the hard way, so I'm gonna have to continue on with my knockoff X games. Hopefully they don't sue me, my goodness. Oh yeah, this car wheel spins so bad and hesitates tremendously with the ESC because of it. It does not want to do much. It really likes to keep itself in control, even though, well, it's fighting itself constantly. If I turn this off, then it's just gonna be, yeah, burnouts for days as long as you hold down the throttle. Burnout forever. That's a good name for a new Burnout game, by the way, Burnout Forever. Please and thank you, EA, do something good for a change. Yeah, I think the only way to keep this car in line without ESC is just keep it... Ooh, wow, okay, hold on a minute. Let me give advice from a point of view of somebody who can actually drive. Oh wait, that can't be me. What I was going to say was, I think especially in S1 and without ESC, this car is dangerous and needs to be babied. Otherwise it's just going to throw you off the road and you will inevitably die. But that is just par for the course of this thing. However, I really like the way that it's geared. I think I did a decent job on that. The way that it handles is reasonable. ESC definitely saves it in terms of its handling, because otherwise you'd be all over the place with these wheels. But I also kind of went full commitment with the hard, not hard long life, but the off-road wheels. I could have went medium compound or hard long life and probably would have still been decent off-road. Would have had some reasonable off-road chops even with those things. I often wonder if this downed bridge here is an homage to the mod where you can bring down a bridge in BeamNG. No idea, but it just makes me think about that. Well, I've been driving on the roads quite a bit, but I have not been driving on the dirt roads quite enough, so I'm just gonna rocket myself over there real quick, at least attempt to make it over there, and fail drastically. Alright, dirt roads, here we come. Let's try and stay off the highway for a bit, see if I can just manage that. I'm gonna have to reset the car though, because I just broke it. I'm gonna stay in drive this time instead of sport, and I'm gonna try and go quick. I mean, I'm doing 100 and I'm drifting, and I'm really drifting now. Oh wow. This is not gonna go well, Mr. Snowman. We need to get you back to the fridge, and maybe some ice after this, perhaps. Yeah, on dirt roads it's even less controlled, so much so that the throttle is honestly like maybe 5% down most of the time. This car has so much power and weighs so little that it is just ridiculously quick. But being back to 1-to-1, 1 horsepower per 1 kilo, it is shockingly quick. Shockingly. Far too quick for me. It's fun when my own creations ellipse my skill level, which honestly happens all the time. I think the only exception is the Bugo. Probably why it's my favorite car. Or at least one of them. But yeah, this version definitely breathed some new life into the Magnum Opus for me, and that has me excited. As long as I can get it back up here, that is. It's also making me think about MotorStorm for some reason. I don't know, did they have supercars like this in MotorStorm? I guess so. I never actually played it, never got to. That's one of my in the background goals. I'm hoping to try and find a PlayStation 3 and get to playing some of those racing games I missed. And I also would like to get a PS4 so I can play some of the ones I missed on there too, like Drive Club. I think that'd be a lot of fun, but yeah, never got a chance to play it. Ooh, I'm doing something good here, doing something good, and immediately failed, and now we have a flat tire. Okay, back into S1, and I might turn ESC back on just to make it a little bit more bearable, because without ESC, it's basically just me doing what the ESC does and attempting to control the power so that I don't slide off of cliffs. And I say cliffs with plural because there are many of them. There are quite a few, especially on this road right here. This may as well be Cliff Road too. It's a little bit dangerous. Thank goodness those signs do not have collision, because I have made it through barely alive. And just wait until I start doing actual IRL track racing, guys. Things are gonna get hairy real quick. Probably gonna end up breaking my car badly in the first run. Just putting that out there. Okay, one thing about the brakes is I shouldn't have shrunk them so much. I feel like the car is not stopping as quickly as I would like. I don't remember if it has ABS or not. That's one thing I probably should have thought about, but actually I think if it has ESC, it has ABS immediately. I know the brakes are, I mean, they're strong, but they are heating up considerably, which is not good, so that was one thing I probably shouldn't have messed with. Probably should have just left the brakes extremely heavy, as they were on the original version of the car. And we can also pull into the shop, by the way, which is cool. It's nice that they actually put a semi-interior in this thing. It's probably where this car would spend most of its time, especially looking at that. So yeah, like I said, ESC on, much more controlled, still a monster, still an absolute wreck to drive, which is a lot of fun. You can wreak some havoc with this thing. And then let me just jump back on the dirt trails here and see how that works. Keeping in mind, of course, that the car has hit a pole, so it is mildly damaged. I'm not sure if that's actually affecting performance or not. Losing fixtures might be losing weight though, technically. I guess we could be improving. Oh, but I'm not. Yikes. Holy. Okay. You know what? I think Mr. Snowman, hiding under there somewhere, has had enough of this cold temperature. I mean, warm temperatures. It's the desert. We're in Utah. What am I talking about? Let's go to the cold and see how he likes it there. So if you've never seen this course before, it is called the Velodrome, and yes, it is an ice map, but it's also a torture test of your car, and I figured we may as well give it one run through. I'm also going to turn on, wow, those lights are not done right at all. I really should fix that. The front ones are fine, but I really should have fixed the back ones. Either way though, this map is really dark. It's got a lot of stuff going on, so it probably looks terrible on YouTube because of the bitrate allowance, but don't worry about it. Just bear with me as we get through this, because it's worth it. This map is excellent, and it is a total torture test. This is the daytime version. There is also a nighttime version and a blizzard version, but yeah, daytime hopefully makes it a little bit easier for you. This car is not going to make it through without having to reset, I can tell you that. I don't think it's possible. But I was talking about MotorStorm before, and this is MotorStorm inspired, very clearly so. It's not so much about your power, it's more about your durability, and yeah, I'm gonna go down this way. just to avoid some of the death below. This is the kind of thing that you would take a rock crawler on, perhaps. Not this trail specifically, but this map. Or maybe a stadium truck, something like that would do well on here. Not really a supercar. But we will take the road less traveled because it does seem to work out nicer for this type of thing. Ooh, that was a big hit. We're gonna go for the yellow route because it does tend to be easier. And, oh wow, it's been a while since I've been on this map. I totally forgot it. Okay, this way, and let's go around instead of bouncing around. Try and take the least amount of damage we can. This may as well be the Endurodrome. This is the longer Endurodrome, I should say. But yeah, yellow route once again, because the red one is a jump. Try to avoid those as much as we can. There is a really cool spot on this map, which has... oh, we've got a crowd cheering for us. Goodness, that's rare. But there's a really cool spot on this map that has wind effects, and I really like it. Back when I first discovered it, I was very happy to find that. So I will hopefully be able to get through that my first time. I've been through there a number of times with other cars, but this one, not so much. And here we go, we're getting up close. Okay, so you can see the blowing wind up there, and an ice pit here. Yeah, okay, not too bad for us, thankfully. That was not too bad at all. And, okay, now it gets worse. It gets much worse up here. We're gonna take this route. We could potentially go around the other way, but that's obviously dangerous. This is fog, and wind. Round 2. I mean, if I was trying to go fast, it might prove to be an issue. Okay, bye. Yeah, you probably saw me fly up in the air a little bit there. Yeah, that was my mistake. I went a bit too fast. I was a little bit impatient, and now we just rolled down a mountain. This time, I'm gonna do it right. We're gonna go through the first one, no problems. And the second one, I'm gonna take it nice and slow, fight the wind a little bit, and make it through no problem. This is probably the hardest one, and we're good. See, not too bad if you're paying attention. Very steep grade though. Yeah, shouldn't be an issue for this car. We do have tons of grip when I'm not having the throttle all the way down. Another thing I really like about this map is this ice chute. It is incredibly cool and very difficult to keep the car controlled on. So I'm just gonna try my best here to not get stuck. I'm not exactly trying to go fast, you probably noticed. I've already done one restart, okay? I do not want to have to do more. But down the ice chute we go, and mega drift. We'll try and take the yellow route once again. Hop over this. Ooh, that's pretty decent. Oh, that's not decent. Okay, I gotta go slower. And then, yeah, now the next challenging part of the course. Mainly, we need to get, oh wow, we need to get over the fact that I just popped 2 tires. And we also need to get over this bump up here. Not too bad. Ooh, that was a bit of a knock though, goodness. Okay, 2 flat tires aside, I think I'm actually doing not too bad. I'll just have to make it through the rest of this, which there isn't too much left, so I should be okay, theoretically. Hey, that's it, I did it. Well, 1 restart was all I really needed, but yeah, that was a bit much. That was really rough for this car, my goodness. Winter map is good. This map is great if you have a stadium truck, but not advisable for your hypercar of choice. No Ferraris on here, please. Oh no, I'm going through the crowd. No. Okay, good. They don't have collision. That could have been bad. Sorry, guys. But there you go. There's the velodrome. There is the Magnum Opus V3.5. Let me get away from this crowd. They are actually annoying. But yeah, that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments. And like I said at the beginning of the video, please subscribe. And yeah, if you're interested in this content, then you're probably going to like the rest of my videos and my current ongoing IRL video where I'm building a G35 for the street/track/ autocross. I don't know. We'll have to see how things go, but that's the current play on that. 3 videos in and I'm having a lot of fun in that series, so check that out, please. Support this channel if you can. But yeah, that's it for this video. See you guys again next time. Oh yeah, join button people coming up. and also a massive burnout for no reason at all, because why not? Hey, just want to thank those who have chosen to support this channel via the join button. This is essentially my Patreon, so if you want to support in this way, I definitely appreciate it. But we have Overlord, QT Bear, Terry Williams, The Most Random Person, Jean Valpalms, Paradoxical, G.A. Pope, Davis, the German Dude. Thank you guys for your support. Appreciate you guys a lot. And I got something special for you here. Let me just make sure it's still working. I turned off ESC, we're in Sport Plus, and yeah, this car is... You know what, that did not go to plan at all. That did not go to plan. If you guys want this car though, let me know and I'll drop it in the Discord. See you again next time.